There you go, fucker Joe.
Run.
Screen where you belong.
Huh?
Then you get rid of my screen where our overlays go.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
I need that
Okay.
spot. You can probably put it back. I need a little bit. There we go. So Dr. Fauci, huh? What do you think about Dr. Fauci, huh?
Fuck that ass. Oh, Dr. Fauci. So Dr. Fauci came out and said,
What did he say?
I don't know. I think he said like wear 4 masks now.
Oh yeah, we're at.
What are we at? What's the latest flip flop with Fauci? Flip flop and Fauci.
The fact that we're gonna be wearing masks until 2022.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, asshole. Go
Yeah.
fuck yourself. Anything else?
cut
Is there
off
any media that actually covers real news? Did you hear that now they're pushing to try to cancel Fox off the cable networks?
Wait, what?
They're trying to cancel Fox off the cable networks.
Oh yes.
Pelosi is pushing to get Fox banned off of cable.
Is it Pelosi?
I think so, yeah.
I'm not
I think it's the House Democrats.
Pelosi and Fox News. I just want to confirm that's the case. No, there were some senators. They're from California. I think they're assembly persons. I'm not assembly persons. They're part of the House, but yeah, they're trying
Yeah, it's
to.
a House committee that's trying to push pressure cable TV, cable networks to take Fox off.
Which is
Which one's Newsmax? Newsmax is like the other conservative network.
yeah.
Let's let our viewers know where they can get like a second opinion.
Look for sources outside the corporate media. Do not trust these fuck faces.
I feel like you're going to like a doctor who just graduated, who doesn't have any experience, trying to tell you what's wrong, with your health. And you should probably go see a more experienced doctor too, just to get a second opinion.
Right.
So with all the mainstream media, we're just dealing with all these career politicians pushing agendas and not having any real life experience, not ever putting their skin in the game, not having to invest and risk losing anything for themselves. But they're very quick to judge you and to mandate you and to give requirements to you of what you should and should not do. Although they've never actually taken those things. They don't even hold themselves to account most of the time.
Yeah.
Like when they go get their hair done or
Their head
they
did.
go to their fancy dinners and they go to bullshit while they're telling everybody else to not congregate, put masks on every second. It was so nice being back at home. Like, it's just so nice being in a state where you can walk around like a normal human being. You can talk to people like normal. You shake hands. You
Oh, I
walk
shook the
into a
guy's hand here.
restaurant.
There's some guy that came in. An
You
older.
better watch your tongue, son. You're in California here. Okay?
It was weird
You
because he
don't-
was wearing a mask.
Don't you ever speak that blasphemous talk around me again. You fist. You fist.
You said something
This
interesting.
is California, okay? You fist over here.
You said something interesting
Experts
that
in
people
fisting.
people should look for different sources of news, right?
Yes.
But that's honestly, for the normal person, I think that's a huge inconvenience to do. If you're not a news junkie and you're just getting news from your local whatever's on the local television, it is kind of a hassle to go out of your way to try to fact check everything or to sit there with a skeptical mind and wonder whether or not you're being told the truth.
It's good to see two sides.
But it takes work. You get me?
I know, but if you're doing the work to get the news,
Right.
might as well, listen to one for 30 minutes and then listen to the other for the other 30 minutes.
But that
Don't
takes
sit there
time
and get
and it takes
force-fed. Don't get force-fed this horse shit.
It's not. It's
That-
free samples. That's what's going on. Just think about you walk around the Costco. It doesn't come to you, right? And nobody's force feeding, but there's cheese there.
This is like when you go to Costco, like right before lunchtime, and you're a little bit hungry, but they just force feed the samples down your throat, and then by the time you're ready to check out, it's like I'm not even hungry anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I mean, I can probably go for like another thing
but it
of
would
pretzels,
take take effort for you to go drive somewhere and buy something. It's gonna take a little bit of money. It's not worth the effort for most people. It's unfortunate because
people need to stop being lazy.
yeah,
Not mistaken. Present actual facts. They still try to deplatform you, silence you, they throttle you, they don't let you get the message out. We still can't run ads, right? Facebook won't let us run ads.
no, they.
Oh, after this sign right here, they're gonna let us run ads like madman.
yeah.
Can't
Oh,
wait
here
for
it is.
that.
Well, that's crazy because
So you know they insist there's no voter fraud, right?
right.
And you can't even claim that there was any voter fraud, or you can claim it, but just not enough that would have swung the election,
Well,
right?
yes, that, and you can claim it if your team lost. You get me? So if people have such a short memory, during 2016, exactly the same thing happened with the Democrats. They were claiming voter fraud. They wanted to tally the.
But did they get deplatformed?
That's the difference, right? That's the difference. And
They
that's
didn't
the scary
deplatform
part.
any of the Democrats for coming out and saying, "Oh no, we won. We
Well,
need
I mean-
recounts. We need to check all the ballots."
Yeah.
Nobody did that.
Well, because what was it recently?
Nobody got deplatformed for that.
Oh, you know what it was? Okay, so do you remember when Twitter came out and said that, oh, we can't show the Hunter Biden stuff because it's leaked information, right? Do you remember that? Where they just
Oh yes.
Yeah, they used
where
the
they had
weight-
where they had his computer that he had left at Geek Squad or whatever, at a
Right.
computer repair shop,
and they
then
had to
found out
shut
that he
down the
was, like-
story, right? Because
Yeah.
Biden's friends with the companies, right? Allegedly. There was leaked conversation, not even leaked. It was stolen material between a woman who used to work at the Lincoln Project and a news reporter, right? Somebody logged in and took those screenshots and linked the Lincoln Project, said, here's the photo, like, here's a conspiracy happening. Check this out, right? Twitter didn't remove that. It was legitimate stolen information.
And they didn't.
Ted Cruz, that whole debacle that happened with him, they have texts from his wife that in between friends. They posted it on Twitter. It's not removed. It's still there.
Wow.
So the standard's not. Here's the thing. If we're gonna
There
have a
is
standard,
a huge double standard in
yeah,
this
if we're gonna have a
country.
standard, it has to be the standard. We
No.
can't be playing stupid
and we
games.
we don't even hold these companies accountable to the standards of our law. It's like we have federal law, state law, local law, but all of these tech companies, the big tech companies, they don't operate on any of those grounds. They create their own laws. They have their own bylaws that you need to follow. If you're a content creator, if you're posting anything, you have to follow what they interpret as being offensive, what
Right,
they
and
can
that's-
interpret as violence or potentially inciting violence.
And that's the key word, right? The interpretation.
Interpretation it's all
Yeah.
subjective.
You and
So
I-
how can you say? So how do we have so is law subjective too? If I want to go attack somebody because they said something to me, is it subjective as to whether I think that's appropriate or not?
Can I answer that question?
Yes.
The answer is yes.
Okay.
And let me give you an example here. Hold on,
Please
check this
do.
out. Okay, so your question was whether or not law is subjective, right? So you're familiar with Merrick Garland, right? So Merrick Garland was Obama was trying to put him on the Supreme Court, and McConnell blocked him, right? Because he says we can't be putting people on the Supreme Court when it's an election year, right?
Sure.
They just slammed the guy down to the ground.
Uh-huh.
Let me see. So now he's back, and he ¿cómo se llama?
Oh, is this the guy? Okay. Is this the guy who they asked him, are the rioters terrorists, domestic terrorists? And
Correct.
he said Antifa because they attack at nighttime,
Yeah. So your
not
question
during the course of like the actual work being done by the court.
right. So this is the
So
guy that's going to
technically,
be
that's not considered terrorism. But if you come in during the daytime when court is in session and interrupt, the judicial process, then you're a domestic terrorist.
Yeah. So here's the answer to your question: is law subjective? Well, according to the potential state attorney general,
Let me ask you about assaults on federal property in places other than Washington, D.C., Portland, for instance, Seattle. Do you regard assaults on federal courthouses or other federal property as acts of domestic extremism, domestic terrorism?
Well, Senator, my own definition, which is about the same as the statutory definition, is the use of violence or threats of violence in an attempt to disrupt democratic processes. So an attack on a courthouse while in operation, trying to prevent judges from actually deciding cases, that plainly is domestic extremism.
Today, Junior, you want to be the fucking attorney? What is this? Are we like picking out candidates from the geriatrics ward? What the fuck is going on?
They're bringing back everybody.
Biden's not bad enough. Now they got
brought
this
back
fucking
John
guy.
Pincari. They brought
That's
back
where
Merrick
I draw the
Garland. They're
line.
bringing
One
back
is-
the
one
same
is
crappy
both
foreign policy
are,
that they've had during the
criminal,
Obama administration.
but one is
they're
a
woke,
core
so-
attack on our democratic institutions.
Is it just because like they're so old, like their brain can't process anymore? So they're like, oh yeah, you know what would be really good? Let's burn all the books. That way people don't read.
I
And
don't
then
know.
we could tell them what they should think.
So that's
and they're
the
like,
thing, that's
yeah, that may probably make me sense. It'll be a lot easier for me because I can just, but how do I read my teleprompter?
Yeah, I think they're unwitting Trojan horses. That's what they are. They're useful idiots. These people. There's somebody
They're useless
higher.
sacks of shit to me.
Yeah, but they're useful idiots for a group of people that I'm not really sure who. I assume woke leftists, but for what reason? Why? I don't know.
Do you know what's the best on this one?
What is
this guy's question answer session here with the what is that, a congressman?
Yeah, I think that was Hawley.
Go to where he asks them, is illegal, or he goes, what is your stance on illegal immigration? Like, do you think that it's illegal for illegal immigrants to enter the country?
Let's see. If
Right?
yeah. Let me see if I can find it.
And like, what would? Let me just ask you a question, because you're Mexican, Jim, right? How do you feel about illegal immigrants entering the country?
Do you want my honest opinion?
Honest, hand on the Bible opinion.
I would preface it with the fact that I could never dismiss somebody for wanting to immigrate into the country for work.
Sure,
Because
I
everybody
understand
deserves to be able to work.
I
and
understand it, but don't you think they should do it? Try to enter at least.
Ideally, yes.
Wouldn't it be more appropriate to give people the opportunity to apply to enter the country in a legal manner?
Yeah.
If they're especially coming from like with that idea in hand, where you want to come into the country, we'll give you a work visa.
Right.
You stay here for 1 year. Let's see how it works out for you. If you find a job and you become a good working member of society,
Right.
we can extend that visa and then eventually turn you in for a green card and citizenship and so on and so forth. Wouldn't that be better than I'm going to sneak into the country by any means necessary?
Yeah.
Right.
But here's the thing. But the thing with that is just like the reason they do that. So during Donald Trump's 4 years, immigration actually went down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Less people, because his message. What was the messaging of the Trump administration? You come here, you're going to get deported, right?
Yes.
The Joe Biden
Hard line.
Right. The Joe Biden administration.
You illegally come here.
Yes.
If you are illegally in the United States,
Or if you're a criminal and here.
or if you're a criminal in the United States who's a citizen of another country, you will be deported.
Right. And here's what's upsetting to me about the Democrats, right? Joe Biden said a message, and the way the media interpreted and they sent the message out was borders are open. Biden's back, borders are open. So what they did is they created a rush to the border, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which that's not those people's fault. They sent a message out that was poorly interpreted to the masses, and now they're putting these poor people in a terrible position, right? So what's upsetting to me is these idiots are like, why are they messing around with people like that? Like, you guys have to have a clear stance on this stuff. The immigration
Because they
thing
don't
needs
have
to
a
be
clear
fixed.
stance. That's the problem. They don't have a clear stance.
Yeah.
They can't even solve the kids in the cages that are here problem.
Yeah.
And they want to open up the borders for everybody, every Dick and Jane to walk through the doors. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
How are we going to protect our country with and listen, I'm all with you. Okay, this whole country is built on immigrants. Okay, if immigrants didn't come to this country, we'd only have the indigenous Indians, right?
Yeah.
So a lot had to happen for us to have the United States of America, and it was built mostly on the backs of immigrant people, right? Now, I'm not against, my parents immigrated into this country.
Yeah.
They ran away from a communist country and came here to have freedom and opportunity for us. I'm not against letting people in, but letting people in listen,
channels.
the right way.
Right.
If you're coming in the right way, you're probably going to do the right things once you're here. If you're coming in the wrong way, it's more of a
up in the air.
crapshoot. It's up in the air.
Yeah.
Because maybe out of those 10 people coming in a truck somewhere, like in the back of somebody's truck, 8 of them are probably going to be good working, healthy members,
of
contributing
society.
members of society
Yeah.
that will own homes and cars and, pay taxes and so on. The other 2 might be criminals, or might be coming in with the intention
A rap
to be
sheet.
with diluting not only freedoms from us later, because what happens when you let people with outside standards, like with their outside ideology, enter into our society, they can mess things up very quickly for the people that live in our country.
Right.
Like what happened when the Europe opened up the doors for all the Muslims to
It's been a while since we brought the Muslims.
yeah, but look at what happened. Look at what happened in Sweden,
Yeah.
right? When they had that huge influx of Muslim immigrants coming into their country,
There's problems.
there were literally women getting raped on a regular basis to the point where the country came out and said no, women should not be out after 10 o'clock.
I'm gonna put an overlay there for fact checks. Just
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, I mean
After 10 p.m., don't be outside because the chances of you being raped are higher.
Right.
And what is that from? It's because these men coming in, right? They don't look at women in the same respect that Swedish men do, right? Muslim people that are coming into this country with their own value structure and their own thing, societal
differences,
norms.
cultural norms.
Yeah, they're not going to assimilate to the U.S. customs. They need
Yeah.
time, right, to assimilate into what,
Right, it takes
what we
time.
could. Yeah, nobody comes in and they're like, most people come into America like this place sucks, if they're from outside of this country,
Right,
because
'cause
they're not
there's-
used to it here. It's not until you stay here or you've lived here long enough where you can appreciate, or if you've gone and you've traveled the world, and you come back and you're like, there's no place better than the United States of America. Then you have perspective.
Right.
It's not the government's place to come and tell us, that we need to assimilate with the global structure. Okay, like there's no overarching dictator or somebody
Right.
that we need to appease by letting everybody and anyone just enter our country and do as they will.
Right, but going
Because
back-
if that's the case, then what's stopping us from doing the same thing to somebody else, right? Like why don't we can all go and I could just go open up businesses in Mexico
Yeah.
and take jobs from Mexican people.
We should, by the way.
We should do that because
But going back to
Tu
your
hablas
original point,
español.
but if you're in a position where you're the attorney general, you can't be wishy-washy with those kinds of ideas, right? Like there's the law in the books.
well, when you're the attorney general, you need to interpret the law.
Right. It's not what this guy, who is this?
This guy literally was trying.
Order, which I know a number of other members have brought up with you. Just a fundamental question. Do you believe that illegal entry at America's border should remain a crime?
Well, I haven't thought about that question. I just haven't thought about that question.
You haven't thought about that
this?
question?
What is this? What is this? Who does that? Who goes into a job interview?
And says, I haven't thought about. That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Kids, just in case they hit you with the question when you go to your next job interview, See, I haven't thought about that question.
If I
It works for
can't-
the Attorney General of the United States. Shit, it should work for me.
I'm applying for the warehouse position. Cool. Have you moved boxes? You know, I haven't really
I
thought
haven't
about.
thought about moving boxes before. You know, I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. Yeah. I would need more. I would need more research.
To go think about that. What is this? What are we? This Clown World?
Is
Clown World.
yeah, we're literally turning into the Banana Republic.
Ay, 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 ay. Where are
When are they gonna start realizing that like the shit that's coming out of their mouth, like we're not buying it anymore. These bullshit, trying to be woke, okay? This trying to be woke culture is destroying our country. Like they're trying so hard not to give the wrong answer as to not piss off like those 5% of the radicals, that they're forgetting that yes, illegal immigrants are illegal in the country. So there is no, it's black and white. There's no gray area for that. They're illegal. They're illegally entering the country. Now, if you put them in a detention camp or whatever,
cages, concentration camps.
if you put them in detention camps, according to Biden now, when it was Trump, it was cages. It was kids in cages. Now it's just people, little people in
overflow
detention.
facilities.
Now it's glorified elementary schools at the border. El abuelito.
Johnny,
talk
last
to me.
words before we. I think.
No, let's just do our PSA. Today,
All right.
today
In the
was.
in the spirit of immigration.
I'm just glad to be back at work. Not glad to be back in California. But be glad to be back at work.
All right, John.
Good show.
Good show, man.
It's good to be back. Thanks for taking care of stuff.
Woo!
Thanks for filling in for me, B.
I think he's closing
I
up.
think B's still talking.
Cut that out, though.
All right.